Hello there, good afternoon. My name is Gary. Welcome to Cucina Giovanetti. Real salt. This is an item that I purchased online. It's just a very good quality salt. I'll explain how we use this in a little bit. Still pretty warm, and all I'm really going to do is peel them. If you wanted to, save the skins, you could make little. You'd have little boats left over. Add some cheese, add some sour cream, some bacon bits, and then you'd have a nice hors d'oeuvre. But today we're just going to peel. This is the tricky part. I used probably 3/4 of it, maybe a little bit more, but you saw me just dump it in. This is where you're gonna, it's a trial and error. Like I said, the recipe is a suggestion. You'll see when I get a little bit farther along here, of what you're gonna wanna kind of look for in your finished product. Not going to need it. We're not going to need it very much. This is not like a bread dough. And you'll see by the time I get done here that this dough will actually kind of start to stick to the table. That's when you know that that you've got the right stickiness to it. I kind of roll it into a little bit of a ball, and then you just want to work it out, roll it out. Try to avoid cracks, little fissures in it, because you want your gnocchi to have a nice consistency to it. You know, God mentioned Gary Pedesto. Okay, now I'm going to show you a technique for putting the little ridges. Take a fork. Sometimes you need to put a little flour on the fork. Now, typically what would happen if I had the little, there's a board that has grooves in it, and typically if you had one of those boards, you'd roll your little nuggets on the board to make these grooves, but you can do it with a fork just like I did. And then you can take these and then just kind of roll them up. And this is a very time-consuming part, and I normally wouldn't mess with it. The shape of the gnocchi is not going to change the flavor. So when I'm doing this at home, I do the first batch, which is those little nuggets, and I move on. We can do these, we're going to do these today fresh. First reason is so that the gnocchi doesn't stick to the pan, and I'll show you in just a minute the second reason. Okay, I'm just going to set this pan here for now. Already I can see that the dough is starting to stick to the table, and that's a good thing. Is your favorite what will work? Pesto, a basil, fresh basil pesto, maybe with little toasted pine nuts on top. Today we're going to be using a gorgonzola and heavy cream. This is really a handy little tabletop type burner setup. You can see this. It's got a butane tank, And this really comes in handy when I'm doing a chicken cacciatore. Chicken cacciatore starts by frying chicken to brown it. We're not cooking it all the way, I'm just frying it. And so I set up a table in the garage, put some plastic over it, put my little stovetop burner on it outside, and I've got one of the best smelling garages for 24 hours. But today we're going to use it to cook our pasta so that it's kind of out here in the open where you can see it. You want these little guys to float up and have plenty of surface. Now I like to, with gnocchi especially, I like to put some of the sauce into the bottom of the dish. Because we're going to be very concerned about how gently we treat the gnocchi. Okay, see what's happening? That's gotten too vigorous. So I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit. Okay, we'll leave that there for just a minute. Okay, so once these have floated to the surface, I'm going to let them go for about a minute. And again, this is kind of one of those trial and error type deals. Okay, so now, and like I said, as opposed to scooping up the gnocchi and pouring it into a colander, this is just a much easier way to deal with them. It's okay if you get a little bit of water in there, but that's the reason why I like this screen, is because it's got a lot of openings and lets a lot of that water out. Okay, then we'll put a little more dollop on top. Little freshly grated Parmesan cheese, as if we don't have enough calories in here already.
That's why it's in little tiny bowls.
But you see, I made this is a half an order, or a half a recipe, and we got more than enough for 4 people. And then we've got some little bit of parsley here, just for color. I don't know if you know this, but the #1 herb used in Italy is parsley. Okay, so I need some volunteers. If we can have, you can help with some fork thing.